I work on it all the time, and I've made it before. I had amnesia, really. In that moment when you catch it, in my head, I don't know, am I 0 for 0? I'm like 10 for 10 in my head. I'm feeling good in that moment, like just shoot it. And you can't second guess, your first instincts in those moments. So it's obviously good to see it go down, and maybe got a little boost from that possession, and we're able to turn that into a big win tonight.
That was Steph Curry after the Golden State Warriors won by 41 points against the Houston Rockets. No, this is not the regular season. This is the NBA playoffs in the Western Conference. That is Jayar Jackson. I am Rich Strom. Thank you so much for joining us. Steph Curry had a horrible first 2 games by his own standards.
Okay.
If anybody were to have 15, 17, anywhere from 15 to 20, we're like, that's a pretty good game for him.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But because it's Steph Curry, we hold him to the higher standard, rightfully so, because he's already built up his resume for us to hold him to that higher standard. That he was terrible. Yet he had 18 points in the third quarter. Here's how he started off the game. I want everyone to notice this. In the first quarter, here was his shot chart. 2 made field goals. Here's his second quarter. This is all individually throughout the quarters. And there's 1. And then here's his entire game. I mean, that is monstrous from Stephen Curry. So Steve Kerr was asked about this as well in the post-game presser. Here is what he had to say on Steph's heroics.
With our team, the way we play and what we rely on with Steph, he seems to feed off the energy of the crowd. And I thought you saw that tonight. Everybody was trying to will him early to making one of those threes. He was missing, and then, once the dam broke in the third quarter, the fans they're just so happy when Steph scores. I mean, there's just this synergy between the fans and Steph, and it's fun to be a part of and fun to experience.
As he was going through, we both sort of nodded in approval because even though it's only 3 points, when Golden State is at home and Steph Curry is hitting 30-footers, they feel like 5. Because of the way the crowd is getting into it, you're seeing something that, although we've seen it through the first few years of his career, not necessarily with Steven Jackson and Monte Ellis, which we went over last week, but it feels like more because the crowd just loves him at Oracle.
And then so do his teammates. So then his teammates follow suit. Next thing you have Klay Thompson hitting shots. And then when Curry then gets double teamed and then actually gets boxed in, there's 3 more guys who can shoot with their eyes closed too. Yeah. So then this builds off of everyone else and the crowd builds off of them. And this playing against the Rockets, it's the perfect team from Golden State point of view. It's the perfect team to do this to, because what I saw immediately in the first quarter was the Rockets trying to chase that same style of shooting and play, because they can shoot too. They go,
totally.
I'm gonna
set the
answer
record
back.
this year. Yeah.
I could hit a 3-pointer too, and if you miss 2 of them, which is not bad, you're down 12 points. Because then you miss a 3-pointer, it grazes the front rim.
Right.
Long rebound, back down the court, another 3. Then you're like, oh, okay, I can make 2 of them now. So you shoot. Now you're down 6. You're like, oh, they made 2 of them, but I missed 1. That's cool. I'm gonna shoot another one. You missed that one. Long. Now you're down 9. It's quick. Next thing you look up, you're down 12 points. You're like, but I made a 3-pointer.
Right, exactly.
And in a layup, I scored 5 points, but somehow they've got 17.
But it wasn't. I agree with you that they somewhat turned it into a track meet because they got out on the fast break. It was also not only Steph, which I'll get into in just a moment, but it was PJ Tucker, Trevor Ariza, Eric Gordon, the role players that we already established have to get involved in order for the Rockets to win games. They did none of it.
Yeah.
None of it yesterday. We're gonna go over James Harden's defense, as you can see, sidebar left in just a moment as well. But again, I want to showcase this because what happened yesterday is indicative also of what Golden State does need from Stephen Curry in order to at least blow out, if not win marginally against the Houston Rockets. In the first 2 games, 18 and 16. And yet yesterday, what happened? 35. Yep. How did he shoot from 3? 5 of 12. He started 1 of 6, I believe, from downtown. And yet he shot 5 of 12, which is extraordinary.
I feel like there's always the dispute of who's the MVP of this team since
between KD and Steph.
And I think it's pretty damn obvious. Just saying. Look who we're talking about, and look at the result of this particular game.
Why though do we have to come to that conclusion? Like, why do we have to put up the barrier between which is more important to the team when it seems like they're both incredibly important?
They're both important.
Like,
yes, of
like
course.
you could easily say that they are. Well, oh crap! In Girl Next Door, they're like, we're a tripod, and like that's how I sort of see Clay and Katie and Steph. Except I view them as like training wheels. Like if one of them falls off, they all fall off. However, if you're going to compare these two, I don't think it's even like that at all, and that we should make that argument because I think what we've learned throughout both of them being out in their respective times over the course of this season and last season is that they're actually a bicycle. Like if you take one wheel off, they're gonna fall apart because that is the offense that they have already instituted for both of them to get involved.
So
and
they're
make an
role
impact.
players. It's just it's what inspires. It's what the reason I brought up now is because it inspires the crowd, it inspires other players that are actually good. And seeing KD go off, it's good. You'll win by 10, 12 points. Sure, it's still a nice win. But the energy it builds when Steph starts going off, it makes everyone else go off.
Yes.
And then you win by 40 instead of 12 and 15. So it's not that KD isn't as good or even as valuable. It's just what it does to this particular team. It pushes them at the higher echelon of greatness.
Did you see what Stephen Curry said to the crowd after he made an and one? So it was a bad word. Riley was in the crowd.
The Reverend Steph Curry.
Klay Thompson had this to say after the game about Steph's potty mouth.
That was funny. I hope Riley didn't see it. It got Oracle pretty fired up, and that's a rare occurrence. I've never really seen Steph. I've seen him, use that language, but that's what the playoffs brings out of you. So don't do that at home, kids. It's just once in a while.
What did you think he said at first?
What Clay said? Oh, he said, I hope God didn't see it. I thought he said it, but he said Riley. That's what I was thinking.
That'd be so much better.
I remember the playoffs when in the finals when he got mad 2 years ago through his mouthpiece.
Chucked his mouthpiece
and he
at
goes,
a referee.
That's some effing BS. And I was like, Reverend.
Oh my God! Oh. It's like when someone who is such a goody two shoes gets caught immediately via social media, and we're like, oh, give me more, give me more.
It makes me like him more, actually.
Because it humanizes him. Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, it's fun. Like the thing is, that's what I already figured about him.
Oh, for sure.
It's just to see it, you go, yeah, show it.
Steph Curry, this is his 10th career postseason quarter with at least 17 points. 7 of the 10 have come in third quarters. This is the last point I want to make. The best third quarter teams, well, it's actually Golden State. So maybe we shouldn't be fully and completely surprised. 2017 signals, by the way, 2017, the 2017-2018 season. It's not just 2017. Right. Obviously, we're in 2018 via TeamRankings.com. Houston is the third best team behind Denver. By the way, Denver had a really good year. They had a really good year. They just couldn't even play in the first half. So Stephen Curry is getting going. Potentially, this could be the demise of the Houston Rockets. That Steph got going, and James Harden played terrible defense on him.